So if you're registered for this year,
which I already did last spring.
Yeah, so that's my interpretation of that too as well, Mike. Somewhere else, you may have missed that. So
And I tried to do it software.
This is muted, but mine's not.
This association.
That's muted though.
That's.
it's not a public roster, so it's working in some respects. But anyway, so again, welcome to the administration of USA Rugby, right? It's a new
Straight line.
It's a new streamlined process every single time.
It's the language, it's the wording and the interpretation.
Yeah. So bottom line is register with Rugby Mountain. It actually helps the referees group. We get more money allocated to the referees for education trainings. Not us personally, but the overall referee or within USA Rugby. As long as you register as a referee with your local organization rather than just your men's club or your high school coach or your other role.
So Paul, is that something that you go in and you can take care of it, or you have to get administration?
I can't do anything about it. It's
Not you, as an
you
individual.
and you can do the game that Jim has been playing. We're trying to get the membership to membership department to call you back.
Per Jess, it should be easy to do. I can try and get instructions on it.
Correct it, because I got in there and registered and I somehow.
Yeah, I know yours is still like we have 2 Dale Brunos and we need to figure out like which one is yours.
I seem to get someone to assist me.
Yeah, okay. I'll try and get that again. Brighton, sorry, Jim, real quick, Brighton.
I mean, you or somebody else, for a number of questions to do with registration, because I've been a different team that I'm dealing with registration. I tried, I got into UI last August, and then when I tried to reinstate and everything, and then so they run your background check, and then so it showed up, and then they would process it, they would. So I ran into some snags.
Okay, so we'll need to have you talk with Jess Dombrowski.
They tried calling me and sent an email on that, and then communication kind of stopped.
Okay.
Paid all that money. So
Okay,
I
well,
need to
so
know.
that's cool. So those emails, just copy me on those as well. Like you still have them?
I do.
Copy me on those as well, and I'll get a resolution with you through Jess, and we'll get it sorted out. And Angela, you too, right? Just copy me on the stuff as well to Jess, and I'll get some work through Jess. Jim, you had something? No? Okay.
Just the same thing. You can't get registered. You're waiting for a response back, and so.
Yeah.
Okay. So even though it's been all COVID-y and no rugby's really been happening, we have been meeting and trying to keep up with stuff. And obviously, high school season happened, so thanks for everyone who participated in that. I hope it was fun. It was good. The feedback that we got was everyone went great from Rugby Colorado's perspective. So I think there were some things we got caught off guard with Sierra. Honestly, I didn't know what a good competition that was going to be. That's the other youth sport. All right, I didn't clean my ear, Mark. So we use that, right? If you work an event, you can use get Mark shoving the radio in your ear. It's okay. Yes, despite that, we still could use some more help. The executive committee, we're short, so we have no vice chair. We have no community rugby RDO, and we need someone, not a webmaster, just someone to update the website, kind of remove some things, that sort of stuff. Joe's been our historian, but yes, Joe.
On that one, no, I'm not volunteering for web update. I don't have the expertise.
Yeah.
But a couple months ago, Gilligan asked me to go through and list what does need updating.
Okay.
And I was able to do that. He has that list. Whoever takes that web updated job just needs.
Yeah, we have that. Thank you very much for doing
Yeah,
that.
thanks for
Very,
that.
very detail oriented. It really helps us out a lot. We need someone who with a WordPress background and can help us out a little bit, and has the time that can do it. It's not, WordPress is not the most difficult thing on the planet. So if you're,
It'll be on time.
it'll be, we got some wood to chop, but again, we have some time right now. So if anyone, like, we do need more volunteers for things like this. And don't be intimidated that, oh, I don't know how to do it, but like the internet is a magical place and there's a lot of resources on there. We can figure out rugby refereeing, which is very difficult. We can figure out WordPress, which is pretty simple. Okay. So don't be afraid to take on new challenges and help us out. Because again, there's only three or four of us up here. And it's tough for all of us to do stuff. So throw your hand up, help us out.
Chris has volunteered.
Chris Hand.
For web update.
And Stephen Marino. Awesome.
Great.
Thank you guys.
Awesome. Fantastic. Thanks. Don't ask, no one knows, right? So there we go. All right. Okay. And then
Ryan Haggerty says he is interested in the community RDO role.
thanks for reminding that, Steve. I was trying to log in to do that. Awesome.
Yeah. We need to, when they
Okay.
say something, we need to repeat it.
Okay.
So just real quick, Joe just asked, he gave a brilliant document to Dan, outlining some of our opportunities for growth on our website. And thank you, Joe Zephyr, for doing that.
All right. Awesome. And we had some volunteers for
And, yeah,
community RDO, Ryan
as you see
Haggerty,
in
and a couple of
chat,
folks.
We had some volunteers for community RDO with Ryan, Chuff, or what's his new nickname?
Christoph has a new nickname.
Chuck?
Yeah.
Ryan Haggerty?
No, what's Chuff's new nickname?
Grapes.
Grapes is volunteered to,
Okay, what's?
well, that's
Just follow Grapes.
just Christoph is now Grapes. Bang your gavel, forever it should be stated. Yeah, so thank you guys for volunteering. Ryan will have a chat about the community RDO and moving forward.
All right. So I think Dan's on the line, but we can't pipe him through, or can we?
Yeah, you should be able to talk and do this. They should be able to listen. Dan, can you unmute and talk?
Can you hear me?
I can. Now I gotta change. Hold on, I gotta disconnect my Bluetooth because I can hear you. And I can hear you. So give me 1 second. Now try it, Dan.
How about now?
Now, come on. Button. How about now?
How about now?
Yeah.
Yes, we got it. Technology.
Hey, winner. Op stuff that we're looking at. So first big one is Rugby Town. We are staffed up for that. Thanks for everyone who has shown interest. I should have reached out to everybody so far. If you have any special needs ahead of scheduling, please let me know. I'll do my best to accommodate that. Much easier when I know in advance. Again, it'll be jerseys provided. Please bring any extra from last year if you have them. I believe the preference is still not to wear USA Rugby kit, but the navy blue Rocky Mountain Rugby shorts or black with matching socks for either of those, either navy socks with navy shorts or black socks with black shorts. And that's coming up here in a couple, 3 weeks. So look forward to seeing everybody out there who's working that. Aspen is fun, to say the least. It's been a real journey. Probably the biggest thing right now is there is no more over 35s. They've done away with that division. Just too much hassle and too many people hopping teams, and they just said they were done with it. So over 35s is gone. So Thursday looks to be about 5 games right now. More games probably, I think it was 21 games total on Friday, then there's going to be no ARs on Friday, which are also going to be over 40 and over 50, I believe, are the two divisions there. Saturday is an open division, men's and women's, and they're talking about under 23s. I'm thinking that's optimistic, and if they actually get what they say they wanted, there will not be enough daylight to actually get all the games. So, as usual, there will be adjustments on the fly. But Saturday will have the full complement of referee plus 2 ARs. So if you have not submitted that form, please get that into me if you want to go. Right now, I am showing Freon, Haggerty, Brighton, Anani. Oh, look. Thanks, Mr. Gore. Goldhammer, Marino, Lawrenson, Huff the senior, Burpo, O'Malley, Cook, Humphrey, Pierce Mara, Zapper, Pettit, Senor Gore. All those potentials. Hernandez is out. JD Cox is out. Dale Bruno is out. Donnie Hennup is out as a referee. Potentially could make it as a coach. And Gore, you just said maybe. So if your name isn't on that list and you submitted, something went wrong, so please let me know. If this is the crew, cool, this is the crew. I'll fill in from other folks. So that's really kind of the big stuff that's happening up in the next couple weeks. Otherwise, we're in that holding state, watching to see who wants to be in the fall and getting them into ref up. Any questions?
Floor, questions from the chat.
I have a non-Aspen prep question. It's now the right time to ask that.
Depends on what.
Depends on what's about.
My question's about Cow Pie and the Denver Sevens tournament, or the Rocky Mountain Sevens tournament. What?
We will get to that.
Okay. Sorry.
Dan, did you want to address the second bullet point there on the slide, or we can either way?
I can't see the slide. I'm dialed in because my computer wasn't playing nice.
The second slide is non-compliant and non-USAR registered league matches.
Ah, yes. Great fun. We talked as a group, and where we came down and can open this up to other folks. I have had a long-standing belief that we should not be in the business of doing administration as the referee society regarding player eligibility and things like that. That's one of the great things the national office is supposed to do and what subsequent leagues are trying to do. So my thought, and I'm not going to speak for the rest of the committee except to the general consensus, was that we would support USA Rugby via ref up and let them put games up there for anyone who's registered that way. Anyone who's registered through NCR, because they have an administrative structure for membership, qualification, administration, everything like that, including discipline, they can put that in there. And other splinter groups that are out there, if they do not get the full stack of administrative duties covered and comply with all the regulations that World Rugby, all the rest of the way down, say is out there, I don't think that we have them in ref up, and I don't think we, recognize that. You as refs are all independent contractors. We don't assign you work. You pick up the work on your own. It's a big distinction between W-2 and 1099. We're going to keep doing that. So if you want to pick up a game, if somebody from a club wants to call you, you want to take the game, that's up to you as an independent contractor. And you need to be willing and recognizing liability or other kind of insurance implications there if someone gets hurt as to whether or not you're insured as the referee. So that's up to you. That's one of the things that USA Rugby and NCR are supposed to be doing for us, is to provide that third-party liability. So again, that is your personal decision as an independent contractor. One thing I will say is that a lot of the things that people expect, like coaching or ARs or mileage, or, you know, if you drive all the way out to, you know, Grand Junction or Laramie or wherever it might be and want to grab dinner on the way back with the team, all of those get funded by the what I call the markup on the referee service. You know, you get paid X amount, the referee society gets a certain amount, and Ref Up LLC gets a certain amount for providing a service. If you are taking those games and you're not having them go into Ref Up, if they're not paying out to the referee society, all those ancillary benefits go away as well. You won't get paid gas. You won't have ARs that are assigned by us. We won't send out a coach. If you are a coach and you hear about it, you want to go do the game, I'm not paying you. All there is to it, because we don't have money for that. The final piece of that is with the kit, those games will not count towards your kit reimbursement or kit allocation. So it's, you know, one of those things where the system's set up, there is that markup, because that's what allows us to do all those other things instead of always taking it out of your pocket or your cut. So that's really, I think, everything I need to cover on that. Did I miss anything? Mark, Paul, Rick?
Just checking the chat. No, but we have 2 questions. We'll go with age before beauty. Jim?
If a ref gets a call from a club or a team saying, will you come referee us, how's the referee supposed to know whether that club or team is approved, CIPB, and everything else?
So basically,
Exactly why I would suggest that they tell that club to get the game in via Ref Up and make sure that they're registered with USA Rugby. I mean, that Eric in Rocky Mountain Rugby, the whole domain over the men's clubs and some of the other clubs, you know, Hugh and the rest of the guys at Rugby Colorado help out with that. Amy and Chris and them down with Sierra are doing it for the other high school group. So my advice is that work with somebody who we know has got that admin in place. That way you don't have to think about things like that.
There is an option to view public rosters on USA Rugby, but I seriously doubt that any referee here would go into that, print that out, write that down, compare it to who's going to be on the field for your own liability. So it's our recommendation that we go through Ref Up and go through the process. But that option is available.
Well, following up with that, Mark, I would recommend you not actually start getting in the business of printing off rosters. That's an administrative thing. That's a union thing. If you start doing that as a referee, you're now taking on something that's outside the scope of what referees do, and it's not in the law book. We don't enforce who can be on that pitch, other than the fact that are you a naughty person, and did we just send you off with a red card?
That's a good point, Dan. Thank you.
Yeah.
Brighton, you had a question.
Chris Chandler went to the extent of saying that spoke to Eric Dean with regards to, you know, games that are being allowed to go on as long as they can reach somebody.
Okay, so you spoke to Chris Chandler with Avail and organized yourself as a referee for the scrimmage.
You called, sent a text message and asking me if towns like, yes, can you come and referee a scrimmage last week and Avail this coming Saturday?
Yeah.
Check and look at my post scrimmages.
Okay.
And they say he spoke to Eric Dean about things like that being allowed to go on and stuff like that. So that's a question that I have.
So that falls in under the guise of. Yep. So Brighton had a question regarding some of the mountain games that are going on right now. He spoke to the athletic director for Vail, Chris Chandler, and Chris talked to Eric Geib, who's the RMR GU chairman, And per Eric, Brighton is allowed to do that game, but it's kind of our consensus that it's not going through ref up. And by all means, like if you feel that you're covered with insurance and do that, and you want to referee that game, by all means.
I mean, can't we say, like, as an organization, we don't want you to do that? Like we want Rocky Mountain Rugby referees as an organization wants matches to go through Rocky Mountain Rugby referees and to follow the process that we have set out for that. And that's what we would like the teams to do, and we would like our referees to help us with that. We're all adults. And, you know, we can't force you to do that, you know, but that's what we would like, is for that to happen. So we would like it if a team calls you up for you to say, thanks, Chris, you know, thanks, Bill Barry, like contact ops at Rocky Mountain Rugby referees, and they'll get you sorted out. That's what we would like as an organization.
I think you're opening up a lot of very bad doors. You got individual contacts for whatever reason between clubs and individual refs.
So
You get cherry picking, you can get, who knows if they're really covered with insurance, if they say they are. I think it's a very dangerous thing.
okay, so just to recap, Steve is it was Steve's contention to stick together as a union and push for everything to go through rep up, and Jim was very concerned about some of the liabilities and referee switching that would happen if we did do that. To answer your question, Brighton, I mean, it's kind of like a strange time. We don't really have an answer for you. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I'm just looking at text message here. Follow up was, it's not a league game, just an opportunity to put the jerseys on.
Yeah.
And throw the ball around between us and Vale. Then I called later on and say, what's going on? And that's when you then say, oh, we just swapped every team. I'm like, okay, I don't know what's on. Sorry, I was going to put it up as a video.
So if ideally you'd like to be compensated for it, so just have Chris go into ref up and put it in there. Yeah, I know Stephen Marino went up to do a game, Aspen and Vale, and Aspen was successful in putting that game in ref up. So I would suggest that, do we need to reach out to Chris?
Chris already reached out to me, and Chris reached out to me. I told him to put it into ref up, and then he emailed me back saying that whatever game they thought they were going to play was canceled, but that if they did get an old boys game put together, they were going to put that in there instead. So I don't know exactly how that all fell out, but when Chris talked to me, he seemed amenable to using ref up.
Okay, so here we have a lot of, yeah, I'm trying to get to it. Spencer Phillips asked, does that include tri-rugby tournaments? So,
So we have had, sorry, microphone. All right, that should move. Yeah, hold up.
sorry.
Yeah, the crooner here, right? Yeah, so try to do that that's changed season to season. It really depends. So some years we have actually been able to support that and offer pay mileage for coaches. This year we kind of did a combination of both those things. So it's covered and sanctioned. Rugby Colorado is the is the high school and youth body recognized by USA Rugby to provide youth rugby, and so we do that sort of as a pro bono from time to time. And sometimes Rocky Mountain referees just keep those costs that we may reimburse from mileage. It depends season to season. We look at our budget and we kind of address it each season. So before it comes out, then we've announced what the deal is going to be. I think this last time, I think it was Rick Goldever. We've got people in the range that happen. That's totally fine. But again, it's a tournament. It's not really a ref up thing. It's one of those caveats of yes, but so. Sorry, there's no black and white, right? It's a law. It's interpretive. It changes.
And then
went through Rick, then he would have, because he sent out emails earlier this season about all that stuff, and just say, let them know if you're interested in doing so. Then he would just make an arrangement if there was a payment.
Right. So So if the executive committee had reached out to somebody here, and or we talked to Colorado, they were going to have funds available to fund that, or we were going to fund it, we would then let everyone know from what the deal was, whether it was just mileage or just going to go out and coach in the morning and coach referees. It's changed every year.
Chat questions?
Yeah, Larry Ramey asks if he's CIPP covered and the teams are CIPP covered, which is registered with USA Rugby. That's the new term, right? If you're both registered with USA Rugby, wouldn't the insurance cover him? And that's not something I can answer. Dan, could you possibly answer that, or Paul?
Not a lawyer, not going to touch it.
So that would be a great question for Jess Dombrowski, Larry Ramey. I'll send over the email to Jess on the chat as soon as I answer Emily's question.
I'd just like to echo Steve, because I think you make a good point. We get them into a process, then we don't have to worry about it. And more importantly, if there is some shenanigans that maybe our board is not aware of, we're not caught up in shenanigans. And just follow the process. It seems quite easy.
I think we all know that there's coaches that would like to have that, pull one over on you.
Or they're just being lazy.
On the up and up, yeah, I'll take care of it.
So
just more membership.
we Paul and I are working with Eric Geib to showcase some of the new improvements with Ref Up. He was unaware of some of the new improvements. So going forward, we are looking to get everything back online. It's been an odd couple of years, unfortunately, and get everything going through Ref Up. So I know there's lots of questions right now. We just ask that you guys bear with us, do what you feel is right and just, and hopefully we'll get on a course going forward again, right? Like we're all in this together. We're all working for the same goal. We're not here to, prove referees are better than club players or whatever. We all want to build rugby. Ray, did you have another question, or is that?
Kind of a follow-up to Steve's point. I think that there's like two ideas embedded in what Steve's saying. One is we want people to go through the process. And another is we want them to go through the process with us as to provide them that service. So I think in one sense, I totally agree that like we should want people to go through a process so that, but like if someone else does it and it isn't rugby referees, I don't know if we want to get, I mean, that's like a competition, like places competing equally successful or more successful referee society.
Well, I don't know if it's competing. There are other options, right? Yeah. There's independent, independent organizations. Some would say that potentially D1A and NIRA and WPL are all different kind of organizations, but
we should be careful to recognize that we're not necessarily. I'm not sure what we're saying. So are we saying that everyone should go through us? Or are we saying that everyone should go through the process? I guess.
Yeah, I think what we're saying is that, as Rocky Mountain Rugby referees, we would like it as fellow Rocky Mountain Rugby referee members if we went through Rocky Mountain Rugby referee for our process for this sort of stuff. If you want to go and join the other organization and referee for them, for example, everyone is free to do that. But as this organization is, we like this. This is what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
This is Ford. You can go for Chevy, but we're talking. We'd like you to have Ford. That's all.
Yeah, like if you wanted to go referee a tournament under Back 10 Pros, that's great.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that this statement could be potentially misconstrued as a competitive statement, but it's trying to be a safety statement. So we should be clear in our wording which of the two things are the goal behind the words.
Well, again, I understand what you're saying is, on a bigger picture, there should be a process that they follow, whether it's our process or a process that they still choose to go with another organization, but they need to go through a process not only to cover themselves, but to cover referees. We prefer us, but we can't force them.
Well,
So I didn't know there was more than one lawyer in the room, but to your point, actually, I do admire that, and you're right. We should come with a clear statement so everyone understands it and it makes sense. So give us that. We'll put something out next time it comes out. We'll kind of email you that way so that it's there and go with that. And then someone won't be happy with that, of course, but we'll do our best. And if like some more thought, perhaps, than just on the fly here. So thanks, Ray. I appreciate that.
We're going to move on to recruitment and retention. Rick, if you're still awake. And
Can I ask another question about the NCR USA rugby thing?
yep.
So do we think that USA Rugby is going to punish referees that referee for NCR teams?
Do we think that?
Yes.
They threatened it last point.
I think that
I think that that's a USA Rugby question. And what I've heard hearsay is they will not directly say that. And as Rocky Mountain Rugby, we can't comment on USA Rugby policies.
So you haven't heard that USA Rugby will punish referees that officiate NCR matches?
All we've heard is the same statements you saw in the same email that said, don't do this. I think you get with the whole, every member, right? I think it went to everyone that said that. So that's all. It's the possibility of there being repercussions, but that's really there was no official, no one's coming down and saying, this is black, this is white. So I don't think we can.
Okay. I mean, that's great, right? Like if we don't think that's going to happen, but I think that's a good thing. Or if we don't think USA Rugby is, are you saying they are going to do that?
Like, I'm saying I don't know them. Like, that's what we're saying. Like, we don't know. But they said what they said, but I don't know what that means.
Okay.
And I guess we haven't heard of anyone being sanctioned. Or...
I've heard two instances. And
hey, Mark, I'd suggest not speculating, especially on a recorded forum.
Okay.
The other thing, it's like Steve, I don't, as an organization, we do not have an opinion as to whether or not USA Rugby will be less inclined to appoint someone. That's a USA Rugby question. We don't have an opinion, and we don't want to speculate. As independent contractors, y'all have to make your own decisions.
Well, I disagree with that, right? Like, you guys, your role as the executive committee is to lead this organization, and like, part of that is interfacing with USA Rugby. Like, you guys should have these relationships with USA Rugby to be able to ask that question. And it shouldn't be that all 20 of us in this room have to ask that question, or that I ask that question and then send it out. Like right there should be channels for an LRO to ask a question to USA Rugby and get an answer. Right?
So
when they exist, like there's many things that should happen that don't necessarily happen, but I would hope that is something that exists.
Right. So
I hear you, Steve. When I talked to one of my counterparts, the answer he received back when he gave that inquiry was, we will not state that we will take action against other referees, or we will not state that we will take action against referees who ref those games. That was the answer he got from the national office.
I'll send an email to the current referee manager and try and get some clarification, and then distribute it out to the referees. Okay.
Thanks, Mark.
Yep. Okay, moving on. Sorry, Rick. Recruitment and retention. Rick, are you there? No. So we did have a level 1 scheduled. It was the same weekend as Cow Pie. I believe we've kind of dropped the ball on getting that out. I think through the process of pre-registering in Sport Lomo, going through the new education database Toshibo and getting that link out, that we didn't get enough members and the level 1 was canceled by the central education coordinator. I did talk with Paul quite a bit about kind of like a pathway forward. There is an online intro to officiating course that I would like to get scheduled right away, because I still strongly believe that a new referee doesn't need to take the level 1 right now. They just need to become interested and know a few things to kind of come out, run AR, do some B matches, do some shadowing, get a good knowledge base of refereeing, and then kind of go forward and dip their toe in the water. And then, you know, after a couple months or a year, they can kind of get a hold of refereeing, and then, you know, just take the level 1 and be like a pretty much full-time referee, refereeing, you know, as many league matches as we can afford to do out there. So I am working on trying to get the intro to match fishing course out, which is a lot of the stuff that the level 1 covered. It's just not a lot of the outfield practical stuff. I still strongly believe that, you know, a lot of the beginning referees should take that intro to match fishing course and get their knowledge base started that way. What's the member club affiliation?
I don't know what that is.
Okay.
We're gonna skip the next.
We're gonna skip the next one because Rick's not here to talk about that. So kind of the fun stuff of what we're doing, we do have some opportunity here. September 11th and October 2nd, the men's national team is hosting 2 Rugby World Cup qualifiers. Softball's pitch throwaway. USA will be playing Canada, and the right to qualify for the World Cup and probably lose 4 games, but they get to go. And then based on the home and home of that series, they will play their South American counterpart on October 2nd here. So if they win and beat Canada, then they could potentially play Uruguay here. If they lose to Canada, they could potentially play the winner of Brazil, Chile, I believe. So that's some opportunities. I believe tickets are going to be on sale. Huh? Well, it's a good environment. It's good for the team. Hey, you know what? When we get a game up and ref up, bid on that game, use that money, buy a ticket, and
All the money you saved on rugby over the last.
exactly. I could look at that. I'll email Brandy and see if we can do that. Yeah, and it'd be a good time to go September 11th just to support rugby. Also, for those not selected by Dan, Rugby Town is a good time. It's a set 3-day weekend. I think tickets for the weekend are only $25 for that, which is a pretty good deal. It's the 20th, 21st, and 22nd of August, so in 17 days, I believe. So, and please spread the word and grow rugby that way too. The process of contracting technical positions for those matches is to be determined right now. I believe USA Rugby has a list of people they're looking at to use that. But when we get those kind of selections going forward, we will announce those. And if you feel that you'd be a strong candidate, go ahead and shoot me an email. That I have a great recording skills. I'm great at spotting. I'm great at keeping time. I'm good at keeping order in my sub-controlling area, whatever you want. So yeah, contact me, the HPRDO, if you're keen to do that. Now to the fun stuff.
No, the fun stuff, yeah.
Okay, I'm getting lots of emails. Stop the share here. Stop the share. Okay. don't get to see that. Okay, so so I'm sure you've all seen this, and I'm sure you all have opinions on it. Paul and I have bought some, or the society, sorry, the organization has bought some refreshments. So let's save our opinions on all the stuff for the refreshments after the meeting, and let's get through these and crack on, yeah? So World Rugby has announced 4 new law variations. The kind of the biggest one is the 50-22, and that's basically kind of to create a little bit more space for attack by keeping the back 3 back to kind of cover kicks. So if an attacking team essentially kicks the ball not directly in the touch from behind their 50, and it lands inside the 22 and bounces in the touch, they get to throw the line out in. So this is a great resource. There's all kinds of different videos to look and see what kind of scenarios. Oh, shit.
So Blue will get this throw.
Yeah, the Taz will get this throw. Yeah, just like with the 22, they can't run it back. So kind of like development points, when you do have ARs, this would be something that like for them to watch too, or maybe, and if you are using comms, which we do have 4 sets, by the way, for the people that are new, we can show you how to distribute those. That would be a good thing, like 50-22 to remind the ref, or taken back behind the 50. It's another thing to kind of think about of like when you're talking and informing players of your decision. So now we say when it's taken back behind the 20, we say taken back so they can't get directly out. Or then we can say, you can shout 50-22 or call in to the referee 50-22 if it looks like it's shaping up to be a 50-22, right? Okay. All right.
So if it goes directly in the touch, then it'll be just treated like any other.
Directly kick directly out to line out to, this would be the Rebels. Oh, sorry. There, that could be sharing. Is that sharing now? Yeah. Okay, sorry about that. So it's just basically setting up a new kind of attack pattern, because the wingers will be dropped back and they'll create a space for an overload to attack. Or if they see that the wingers are up, then they could potentially get the land out up that way.
So it doesn't have to first land inside the 22, it just has to land.
It has to, it can't.
It has to go through the 22 before going up.
Yeah, so it has to go into touch between the goal line and the 22, and has to land in the field of play before going into touch. Yeah, essentially. Anywhere from the 50 to the goal line.
So it has to go over the 50.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you have to be behind the 50.
The example they're showing, it's not landing in the 22.
No, so it landed anywhere from the 50 to the goal line.
Okay.
So therefore, it's not kicked directly into touch.
I read the text. Your first statement was correct.
And it has to go into touch between the 22 and the goal line. So it could land on the 40, roll in, then go into touch. Or 10-meter line. Touching goal does not count. That would be what would that choice be? Or right, if it, yeah.
If it lands on your side of the 50, then it's off. Then it becomes defensive team's throw.
Yeah.
No, it's still not directly in touch.
No, you could essentially you could.
Your own 10, it bounces at the 49 and then goes into touch inside the opposition's 22. That's still not directly in the touch. It would still be your line out up there.
In theory, if you grubber kicked it, what would that be? 30, no, 40, 18 meters. Yeah. Yeah. So Yeah.
You see the referee pointing to the correct team.
What's that?
The referee's pointing to the correct team.
Yeah. So now my whole pet hate about carrying the flag, you can't really do that. You can't carry the team in possession anymore. You're gonna have to switch it. So all that years of worth of work just gone down the drain.
Or we just squash.
World Rugby just crushing my dreams. Yeah, so there's lots of video examples on this. This will be sent out in the chat, but I'm sure we've all watched these many times. Does anyone have any questions on that? Any questions? Are you moderating the chat? No?
No, we're throwing.
Sorry, Joe, 1 second. Dale? It's a global trial. So yeah, it's not, yeah.
It's not just doing it in Uruguay or whatever.
Well, it was first done obviously here, and now it's a global trial. All right, goal line dropout. So basically, attack puts the ball in the end goal, and defense makes it dead by either making it dead or holding it up. We're now going to have a goal line dropout, which is essentially a similar thing as a 22, but on the goal line, right? And that's just kind of,
They can take it anywhere on the goal line itself.
yeah, it doesn't have to be center or whatever. Like the same, like if they're chucking the ball around like the 22, you give them a chance to kind of sort out a kicker and then go, okay, nominate someone, right? The one thing is it's like a restart. That if they are going to make it dead, they have to do so immediately, right? If they are going to choose to do that and then do a goal line dropout very quickly, they can't just sit there over the ball. Then they're electing to play on. Joe?
Where does the non-kicking team, do they have to be back?
They have to stand in the field of play.
So goal line.
5 meters. Sorry.
They have to be five
Yeah,
meters.
5 meters.
Does it say that?
Yeah.
They can come up with a new term that they didn't really define. It's called the sanction line, but there's a picture of the walls. It shows where it is.
Well, let's watch a video and see if we're right.
Question in the chat is kicks over the dead ball line still result in a 22? Yes, the answer is correct. Yes, they do.
Or come up.
Hold up.
Or scrum the ball.
White should have a goal line drop.
It looks like they're all retiring back to the 5. Yeah, because there's no way that 12 would not be there if he could not be there.
Touch and goal, dead ball line is still 22.
Now, there's a couple of problems.
Well, so this would be your primary signal, and then this would be your secondary, right? I know a lot of people do this first, but technically this is your primary, and this would be your secondary. But
Yeah, if the ref had been there on time, that might not have held up.
now we're here to support our brothers, Joe. Mike's a very good guy. Yeah. Oh, there's all kinds of chat. I hope you're watching it.
What's the sanction for directly in touch on the dropout?
Well, I'm sorry.
What's the sanction for direct touch?
Good question.
The saying is direct. Oh, if he kicked directly in touch.
Directly in touch. Probably
Lying out outside, other teams lying out outside. Not kicking.
I was told there'd be no thinking. So directly out from the goal line.
Directly in touch, the choices are another dropout, scrum, and line out, or quick throw.
Yeah. So it's same as before.
And is the scrum from the front
It-
of the was?
It'll be in the middle.
It'd be middle.
Middle of the field.
Yeah.
You can't put it on the-
You can take a 22 on the 5 meter, but if they do that, it's gonna be a scrum center. Yep.
Didn't mean to make it take that much more.
I'm sorry. Okay. Right?
So you're saying that it must be taken without delay.
No, it must be made dead without delay.
If it is made dead with delay, then it's having scrum.
Well, it's play on.
Oh,
And then make it by the defense.
Oh, well then it's a yellow card
Solve it.
and a penalty try.
Free kick is not, kick must be taken off.
Like a 22.
Yeah. Well, you manage it, right? Still don't throw the ball back and forth.
Oh, the goal line dropout has to go beyond the 5 meter line.
Okay.
Also can't tap it.
Because you can't tap and go to yourself like a 22 can. It has to go over the 5 meter line where the feet are.
I'm glad I'm really prepared for this because I didn't at all. Yeah, this is gonna be literally a presentation on Thursday. Why do the work? No lollygagging. Okay. Any questions on that? Clear as mud? Great.
And then on Thursday, the USA Rugby is doing a presentation on this. If you didn't get a Zoom seat, they're gonna send the link out and show them watch it. Do their stuff. So when they're available, but sometime after Thursday. I'm sure it's more than that.
So the third law is to kind of get rid of like my favorite law, according to Steve Gore, is the flying wedge. Basically, kind of like it's like pick and go at rucks. Players are kind of binding on and forming a mini scrum to kind of then to gain a foot, drive over the ball, drive the players off the foot, off the ruck, and seal. And what they do is they're kind of pre-binding 1 or 2 players to kind of form that wedge and go, and then just leave their feet and close the contest. So World Rugby is saying that's no longer allowed. You can have 1 person bind onto that person, and then it's kind of what's that called? It's called latching, but we used to have another term, right? Like it's like hammer and nail or something, but truck and trailer is obstruction. Anyway, the term is one player can latch on to the ball carrier and then go and blow off a person of the ruck. But if they seal and leave their feet, they're liable for off feet. So they can blow Jim off the ruck and then reset and support their body weight over that ball, and it's not sealing. But 2 people can't join on to Paul. Like if I'm the ball carrier, Paul and Joe can't bind onto me to go into that ruck and then blow off and seal. So there's some really good videos of this.
So there's timing issues there. Once the tackle happens, second person can come. Second person.
Yeah, this is more like you'd see this more of like picking and going up the field, gaining Okay, it's not really like an open tackle situation. It's like slow ball. They're near in goal. Chris, I see your hand. They're near in goal. They're just trying to get it a little bit more, maybe set up or suck more people into a ruck, then get it out wide. But it is more of like a pick and jam. Chris, you had a question? Okay, I'm sure they won't. So again, these videos, they're showing that it is allowed because it's not illegal when these videos are made. So this just technically, this is illegal. These actions are illegal, even though they're not being penalized in these videos. Cavalry charge. Cavalry charge is based off a set play, off a penalty kick. Huh? A lot of people don't like forwards and backs. I'm trying to bridge that gap. Chris, you'll find that. So there we have the ball carrier picking it up, and one's already pre-latched and another one's already pre-latched. So there's 3 people in that. No longer allowed.
The second one latched. Second latch or latched after contact.
No, she didn't. So there's one on the other side of her. You can see her hand on her, and then the other one right here, right here. So there's one person over here you can't see. And there's 2. Well, now there's 3. Yeah.
But if there were contact first and the third and another person joins, you're okay.
Yeah. Like basically it's a 2-person kind of a deal now.
Two people can go, third
Yeah.
can join after contact.
There's 3. It is a very mini scrum. It's like 2 props and then the back row in between. Again, 3 or 4 people bind up right there. So here's 1 player latch. Oh, that's 3. Sorry. Here's the 1 player latch. Yeah. Potentially there could be a little bit of a structure there, but clear and obvious. Wasn't for me. So what she does is she has to reset. So she goes in and latches, and that's legal. But if 3 goes over and goes underneath her and loses her feet, that is illegal. That is sealing. All right. So right there, the French player is required to stay on her feet when protecting the ball or when engaging the defender. That should be a sealing penalty. Oh, tempo. So again, hands on the deck, no attempt, not supporting his body weight. Here's a great one. He seals, but then reloads, and we're going to allow it. So 1 latcher, seals it. Oh, no, that's a good penalty. Yeah, he didn't seal it. Sorry. So he reloaded, but he still denied the contest. So he wasn't laying on the body, but he got to his hands and feet. But by being on his hands and feet, he still prevented a contest.
So we expect him to roll away then, either
Drive through,
or roll away.
drive through, or I mean, they're not going to roll away. They're not going to roll away. We know that, right? So he's going to be penalized. He could drive through or be penalized. Off feet. Yeah, it's ceiling, so it's straight down. It's not falling over a body, but it's like straight down. I would just go binding, maybe. Yeah. I say you grab your ARs and just go really quickly. You can't do this. No. Grab one AR and go yes, but then stay up. You know. Yeah, it should be a penalty. Latcher stays up, drives into a point. Okay, here we go. Here's a good one. That's not it. Oh, it's this one. Well, now he's down, so now it's a tackle and it's driven over. Yeah, because the player in black stayed up on his feet, pushed over. Yeah. Yeah. Players stay up, drive over, produce the ball. Well, they had their hands on him. That's not bound. Bound is shoulder, right? So they stay up, drive over, produce the ball. Remember, if the action is positive, we're looking to reward positive actions, right? And the last one is the gator roll, which is still being allowed, but we are looking for the actions of the person who's committing the gator roll to not roll on a joint or an ankle of the kind of the jackal, right? So we want to, well, yeah, of the gator. The gator gets to keep his little tiny feet, and but
Potential dangerous injury type role, that's called, that's penalty.
yeah.
It's just normally it's gonna pull you out of the way, move on the ball.
So what you'll see is like it'll be like rolling and then like catching his knee and twisting him, like I can take him with me and we both go in a roll. But no, this is not the part. This is not. Yeah. Yes.
That's in the same household.
Let's watch some of this. This will be our greatest opportunity to get correct.
So red 5.
Yeah.
Put strain on blue 11's.
Joints. Well, yep, that's okay. This was fine. Classic load clean out. Not always possible. We don't want. Yep, under the armpits, roll them out. Here's a naughty one.
That's just from the side anyway.
Yeah. Oh, see how he went on his knee? Probably another thing you would want to have your ARs help with, right? So I think maybe the trigger you're looking for is they're missing the gator roll and just flopping down, right? Yeah. So what they're trying to do is a dynamic action to blow them out. They missed it and they just fall down because they did miss it and the guy was strong. So that would be a good trigger to look for, right? What were was he successful in grabbing and trying to roll, or did he just try and hit and then fall on them? A good general one is just foul play. I don't think there is a secondary one. Yeah, we're not going to go clipping. Icing ref. Just foul play. You can do the collapse maul if you want. Dangerous gator roll or dangerous roll. Yeah. What's the signal for dangerous charging? Just that. Just that. Like if he came in and blasted into the ruck, right? It'd just be, yeah. So I'm happy with like if you like charging into a ruck, is that? I'm happy with this because it's dangerous charging into a ruck. Essentially, he's going to a ruck. It's dangerous. Happy days. Again, I don't think any of us coaches here are gonna be like, Dale,
Didn't get the secondary.
your gator roll signal, mate. That's good. Yeah. So what kind of scenarios are likely this is going to happen? Right? Is negative tackles when the teams are isolated and under pressure. So if they're positive and going forward and the teams are in support, the support will be there to clean out and be happy days. When it's negative and the teams are now desperate, they're going to try and fly in there and try and gator royal that guy out there because that jackal is in a position of strength, right? So just kind of that's like your setup, like, oh shit, this is a negative tackle. I got to kind of be aware of there's no support, flies into a ruck. What were the outcomes of it? You know?
So we're going to make teams have one latch player so that their other supporting players are further away. When those supporting players come inside and jackal people by the legs, we're going to penalize them.
Yeah.
There are some.
Okay.
If it were easy, we would have more than 15 people in this room. Yes. Where are we on our PowerPoint? Are we good? Are we good? Okay. All right. 8:15. That's good. That's a good starter back. Hour and 15-minute meeting. Thanks for everyone for coming. Thanks for everyone for joining our Zoom call. We will have more information obviously coming out and to send this meeting out. And then we will probably have another meeting September. That'll be Labor Day. Yes, Angela.
Other than I saw that Aspen Vale played a weekend ago. Has there been a lot of football?
No, but that's the opportunity for Paul and I to work with Eric to get those in the ref up. So we imagine that the Rocky Mountain League games and sorry, Angela asked like, why is there no activity in ref up? And there really hasn't been a lot of games because of COVID protocols, and then there's some stuff happening in the mountains, but it's not quite sure. Are they getting their own refs? Are they going through Eric? You know, we just had a chat with Eric last week, and we're scheduled to have a lunch with him this week, so we will be looking forward to getting into that. I know Sierra, which is the other high school league, is looking to do 3 sets of 7s for women. I think Rugby Colorado is looking to do some 7s. I know that the men's and women's club will be kicking off soon. There will be a shortened version of WPL here. D1A will be here. NCR will have some games, and college. Yeah. Good. Okay, that's great. So it's, you know, I think what we're looking for right now is a great time to get out and get running a little bit, shake off some of the stuff. If you'd like to organize some deliberate practice, we can set up one night and do some whistle signal talk. That's always good. Happy to run a Bronco for you guys anytime. I'm sure you guys are not. Huh? I'll run it. 20 pounds lighter. I want to see what I can get. If you lose to me, oof. Okay. Let's do it right now because it's your first weekend here. Yeah. 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 Motion adjourned. So we're gonna. Those are our process to get the 50 law books in 2019 that USA Rugby didn't get shipped, but then eventually was found in the move from the other warehouse that eventually stayed in my garage, and now they're here. Okay, so for those, yeah, we're gonna shut down. For those who need radios, we do have a set of radios here. Hopefully, if someone wants to take them and be the caretaker of them, by all means. For the new guys, there's a QR code. If you guys don't, Chris, I'm sure you have your own radios, right? If you don't, if you guys want to take care of them, Chris Brewer will show you how to do it. And thank you everyone for coming. Stay safe.